relies on the vocabulary of Banyuwangi traditional movements that depict the characteristics of the figure of Dewi Sri Tanjung.
Dewi Sri Tanjung has a beautiful, firm, honest, and royal face.
Sasanjung has a firm personality on this dance, shown by movement of the daring cloth at the end of the Sasanjung dance. She has a beautiful face so that many people want to marry her.
This personality is expressed in the movement of the glute stage dance, so that is corresponds the first to the fall which depicts Dewi Sri Tanjung's being in the room.
These characteristics are the background for the creation of the Sasanjung dance.
Sasanjung, Sang Dewi Sri Tanjung, Boyo Sunyari Ulan, mencorot mengduran. Duh manise, duh eseme, duh ayune, O Sang Dewi, Dewi Sri Tanjung.
Ceritane riwayat sengsara yatine sun kesiksa welas lan tekad iki sing kira keneng kudu masih sun sengsara yatine sun kesiksa. Dibungkus godhong garing Sri Tanjung sambyat loro yatine nangis maning nang warung tuku sego dibungkus godhong garing Sri Tanjung sambyat loro yatine nangis maning ya
Good morning to all participants. Welcome to the first series International Seminar Development Economic Study Program, Faculty of Economics and Business, University of Jember 2024.
With the theme
Inclusive Growth for Sustainable Futures.
Presented by the Development Economic Study Program, Faculty of Economics and Business, University of Jember.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam, Om Swastiastu, Rahayu.
Dear Honorable Professor Istifadah MSI CRA SMA, as the Dean of the Faculty of Economics and Business, University of Jember.
Dear Honorable Dr. Siti Maria Wardayati, MSA CRA AK, as the First Dean 1 of the Faculty of Economics and Business, University of Jember.
Dear Honorable Dr. Herman Cahyodiarto SEMB, as the Study Program Coordinator of the Development Economics, Faculty of Economics and Business, University of Jember.
Dear Honorable Associate Professor Nurzaimah binti Ubaidillah, PhD, as the Senior Lecturers and Deputy Dean for Academic Research of Business Economics, Faculty of Economics and Business, University Malaysia, Sarawak.
Dear Honorable Associate Professor Muhammad Ashraf bin Abdullah, PhD, as the Senior Lecturer of Faculty of Economics and Business, University Malaysia, Sarawak.
Dear Honorable Associate Professor Pacharin Kanka, PhD, as the Senior Lecturers and Deputy Dean for Academic Affairs and Research, Raja Mandala University of Technology, Sriwijaya, Thailand.
Dear Honorable Dr. Farida Rahmawati SEME, as the Senior Lecturer at University of Malang.
Dear Honorable Dr. Yulia Indrawati SEMSI, as the moderator of these events, and dear Honorable our lecturers.
We are proud of all the participants who have joined this event by online and offline.
Firstly, we would like to say our utmost gratitude towards God for letting us gather today, everyone with God's and stable health. Hey, I am Awan Musnadbar and my partners,
Efral Maulidina,
will be the master of ceremony of today's event to guide you until the end of these events.
Alright, we would like to read out the rundown of today's event, which is divided into some parts. First, opening.
Second, singing Indonesia Raya, hymn Universitas of Jember and March Faculty of Economics and Business, University of Jember.
Third, opening speech.
Fourth, international seminar sessions.
And the last, closing and documentation.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin this event by reciting basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
University of Jember, and Mars Faculty of Economics and Business, University of Jember. Dear all participants, please take your perfect attitude and sing together. For the comedy, the time is yours.
Langkah seirama ke depan menuju masa depan yang cerah, menjadi garda terdepan pendidikan, mengubah cara pemimpin bangsa. Kami para sivitas akademika, Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis, bersatu tekad sukseskan pembangunan bangsa, menjadi ekonom terlatih terbina. di alma mater tercinta Universitas Jember. Siap tunaikan tridharma perguruan tinggi, kuatkan semangat jiwa Pancasila. Hidup Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis, kita jaya selamanya.
Thank you. All participants can return to their seats.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next agenda is the opening speech will be delivered by Professor Dr. Istifada, MSI, CRA, CMA, as the Dean of the Faculty of Economics and Business, University of Jember, as well as opening and introduction seminar by hitting the gong 3 times.
We invite Dr. Istifada to the stage to give the opening speech.
Thank you, MC. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Salam sehat semuanya. Good morning and peace be upon us all. Mr. and Mrs. who I respect, our presenters. The first one is Associate Professor Ibu Pacharin Kangka from Manggala University. Thanks for coming. And then the second one is Associate Professor Salut Muhyiddin, PhD. And then Associate Professor Ibu Nur Zaimah binti Ubaidillah, PhD from Unimas, Universitas Malaysia Sarawak. And then Dr. Farida Rahmawati, SMA, Dr. Saritwa Siregar, SMA, and D.C. Febrian Putra, SMSC. Also moderator Dr. Yulia Indrawati, SMSC. And then all of the lecturer and head of department, and then secretary of department, head of study program. The IC of the event is Bapak Dr. Herman Cahyo, coordinator of study program PSAP, and then head of study program Syariah, and then all of the students and participants. First of all, let us express our gratitude to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, the most compassionate and merciful God, because with His permission today we can gather here to jointly attend the international seminar with the theme Inclusive Growth for a Sustainable Future. Dear ladies and gentlemen, the Development Economic Study Program, or PSAP, of the University of Jember has an initiative to formulate a global strategic framework for institutional competitiveness in the long-term period. Therefore, the need for the elaboration and actualization of the format through international seminar activities. The long-term goal is to provide opportunities for the growth and development of the quality of PSAP study program institution, so that they have an instrument for measuring the quality of graduate in facing global competition. The importance of global strategic competitiveness of the Development Economic Study Program of Fakultas Ekonomi of Bisnis, University of Jember in the long term is a rationale that becomes the basic framework for thinking and operation in organizing international seminar. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. By reading Basmalah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, together and hitting the gong, the international seminar officially open. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your opening speech, Dr. Istifada. Next, continued by hitting the gong 3 times by Dr. Istifada and accompanied by Dr. Herman Cahyodarto by opening this event symbolically.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we start the international congratulations, let us read the curriculum vitae of our moderators. For the committee, please help us to screen her curriculum vitae.
Our moderator today is Dr. Yulia Indrawati, SD MSI. She is a lecturer and researcher at the Faculty of Economics and Business, University of Jember, Indonesia, specializing in economics and banking. She finished her doctoral degree in economics from University of Brawijaya, finished her Master of Science from University of Gajah Mada, and her bachelor degree of economics from University of Jember. Dr. Yulia has experience in teaching internationally, having served as a lecturer exchange at the University of San Carlos, Philippines from 2018 to 2019. She is also active in research, which expertise in fields such as risk banking management, behavioral economics, energy transitions, and time series dynamic models. Additionally, she has been recognized for her work, receiving the Satya Lancana Karya Satya 10 and 20 awards from the President of Republic Indonesia. Currently, she serves as the coordinator of the Audit and Quality Management Center at the University of Jember and Secretary of the Ikatan Sarjana Ekonomi Indonesia, Jember Branch 2022 until 2025. Dr. Yulia also involved in various research products, including the Ijen Geopark Tourism Marketing Platform. That's all the curriculum vitae of our moderator today.
Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let's start the international seminar session, which is going to be guided by our moderators. This is Yulia Indrawati. Time is yours. Please give applause to our moderators.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a good day, I think, because the room is full. Yeah, okay, Alhamdulillah. The honorables of our deans, Professor Dr. Istifada, congratulations, Prof, for your achievement to lead of the Faculty of Economics and Business in period of 2024 until 2028. Congratulations again, Prof. Istifada, and the honorables of the head of the Economics Department, Pak Teguh, Dr. Teguh, and the Secretary of the Economics Department, Dr. Dwi Yunita, and also our host today, and Pak Herman, the honorable of Pak Herman, the head of the coordinator of the study program of development economics, and all of the head of the study program, and all the lecturers, and also all of the participants, our students in Faculty of Economics and Business, University of Jember. Syukur Alhamdulillah, all of our participants, we deeply appreciate for your presence today. I think that today is a very quality time for us to discuss further about the theme in our international seminar, Inclusive Growth for Sustainability Futures. I think that's a very interesting topic today, and I think that several days ago we've got off the hot of the withers and the extreme withers. I think that's the impact of the how we have the responsibility to provide to keep up our sustainability. I think that's a very interesting topic. And the honorable for our speakers today, and there are three of speakers today, so I think that they are a very special guest lectures for us because they are near from the Indonesia. Welcome to our speaker, Dr. Nur Saima Ubaidillah, Dr. Muhammad Ashraf bin Abdullah, and Dr. Farida Rahmawati, that our speakers today that will enjoy with us to discuss more about our theme today. So our participant, our time for this discussion in our seminar until at the 11 o'clock. So we must to optimize of the time. So now we would like to invite our first speakers. Please welcome to the stage Associate Professor Dr. Nur Saima Ubaidillah. Please welcome to the stage. Associate Dr. Selamat datang, Dr. Nur Saima Ubaidillah, Deputy Dean for Industry and Community Engagement and Senior Lecturer at the Faculty of Economic and Business, University Malaysia Sarawak. She was the principal investigator for internal research project funded by University Malaysia Sarawak, developing the demand model for autonomous rapid transit (ART) in Malaysia 2021-2023 and changing ahead, and revealing effect of driving electric vehicle adoption in Malaysia metropolis, as well external research project funded by Ministry of Education Malaysia, modeling a circular economy framework of sago production efficiency in Malaysia, and she also as the co-investigator of several studies locally funded by a business event Sarawak, the economic impact study. I think that's very competent, Prof. Welcome to Indonesia, welcome to Universitas Jember, Dr. Nur Saima Ubaidillah. And we would like to invite to the stage our second speakers, Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Ashraf bin Abdullah. Please welcome to the stage, Prof. Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Ashraf bin Abdullah, a senior lecturer at the Faculty of Economic and Business, University Malaysia Sarawak. He received his Bachelor Economics majoring in Analytic Economics, Master of Economics, and Doctor of Philosophy in Industrial Organization from the University of Malaya in 2000, 2006, and 2011 respectively. In addition, he received also his postgraduate diploma in higher education teaching and learning in 2020, and his area of research interests are airline economics, public finance, transport economics, and economic development. He also teaches both undergraduate and postgraduate course and involves extensively in supervision of research at both undergraduate and postgraduate level. I think that's a very of the experience of the research. You can read, all of you can read at the slide in so I cannot read all of the background Dr. Nur Zaimah and Dr. Muhammad Ashraf. I think both of them is a very competent in and relevant with our topic today. And the third speakers enjoying with the Zoom meeting, is it right? Committee? Yes. Dr. Farida Rahmawati, SAMA. She is a lecturer at Universitas Malang. Is it right, Pak Herman? Okay, thank you. And the research about the analisis pembangunan ekonomi kota wisata Batu dalam perspektif green economy, and then the second research about the strategi pengembangan komoditas unggulan and cluster agroindustri di Kabupaten Probolinggo, aplikasi model Dematel. I think Bu Farida will join with us via Zoom meeting. Okay, all the participants and our speakers for our discussion. The first session is the presentation for our speakers. Each of a speaker take time about the 45 minutes and then we continue to the next session is the discussion for all of the participants. For the first speakers, please time is yours for the Associate Professor Dr. Nur Zaimah Ubaidillah. Time is your name.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, everyone. Thank you to Prof. Dekan for inviting me, and also Pak Herman and all the academicians and also staff of Universitas Jember. Thank you very much for welcoming us to this event, and also to all the students. I hope you guys are okay. Okay semua? Okay. Syukur. Okay, so yeah. The topic that I will be presenting today is circular economy. So this is basically salah satu topik riset saya yang for the grant that I recently received. Okay. Moving on, next slide. Okay, so this is the a bit of the Malaysia socio-economic infographic. Okay, as you see on my left, the GDP is around RM 1569.2 billion ringgit. Okay, the population approximately 33.4 million. Labor force 16.9 million, employment 16.3 million, approximately 3.3% unemployment level. And this is the GDP by sector from MOE, Ministry of Economy, 2023. So you can see services sector dominates the GDP, which is about 60%. Came to say the main economic activity in Malaysia is the services sector, and this is followed by 24% by manufacturing, 6% each for mining and agriculture, and 4% for construction. Okay, jadi kiranya the main activity is services sector for Malaysia. Moving on to the next slide. Okay, I hope I can read this. Okay, So the growing worldwide population presents a problem for global economies in the area of solid waste management ataupun sisa, buangan sampah, etc. Of the 2.01 metric tons of municipal solid waste produced worldwide every year, 33% is not sufficiently handled in a way that is safe for the environment. Maksudnya, from all the waste that we dispose or we discarded, not all of the waste are properly being handled or managed. So the population of Malaysia is expected to grow quickly. So in 2021, approximately 32.8 billion, this would result in massive quantity of solid garbage, okay, being produced daily, predicted to be 38,427 metric tons, which is approximately 1.17 kilogram per capita per day, of which landfills get 82.5% of the disposal. Okay, so insufficient planning for solid waste and insufficient funding for waste management have led to inadequate and poorly run facilities that contaminate the environment and endanger the health. So this is the waste composition in Malaysia. So the largest one is 44.5. Maksudnya the largest or the biggest waste in Malaysia adalah from the food wastage that people consumed every day. And this is followed by plastic. So plastic itself is a very concerning matter as well. And then diapers and sanitary napkins, okay, 12.1%. Papers, kertas, 8.5%. Garden waste, 5.8%. Textile, 3.1%. Glass, 3.3%, and Tetra Pak, 1.6%. So this is the composition of waste in Malaysia. So the largest one evidently is from food that we consume. Okay, next. Okay, so waste generation in Malaysia. This is the statistics of waste generation. As you can see, there is an increment from year to year. Okay, as the population increase, so does the waste generation per day increase. Okay, evidently. So the latest data that I have obtained is in 2021, 38,206.82 tonnage per day for every day, and also 13.9 million tonnage per year, which is the accumulated waste generation in Malaysia. Okay, so Malaysia's recycling rate was 33.2% in 2022, and it is predicted to reach 40% in 2025. However, not all plastics are recyclable. Tidak semua plastic can be recycled. Okay, there are different types of plastics. Some of it is ignored by garbage collectors owing to safety or economy concerns. The majority of plastic packaging is made from 7 different grades of plastics, which are mainly incompatible with one another and therefore expensive to recycle. So different grades of plastics, different types of plastic have different technology to break it down and to recycle it. Okay, berbicara mengenai waste, sisa, why are we concerned on this waste generation? Why are we concerned about how it affects us? Is there any issues and problems? So these are some of the issues as a result of waste, being disposed or discarded. So the one that worries the most, which is not local domestic issues but also a global issues, is the climate change effect. Okay, so we must know in heart that the waste that we dispose actually affect the climate change. So here we go. Greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane can also be emitted into the atmosphere directly from this open dump site, which is the landfill. Landfill is where the waste or the garbage will be thrown or disposed, okay, at the end of the chain. Researchers revealed that open garbage landfills account for 20% of overall methane emission from human-related sources, anthropogenic sources. Methane is one of the most significant drivers to climate change, having a warming potential approximately 80-fold larger than CO2. Maksudnya, the effect is even greater from the CO2, and it affects the climate change massively. And then secondly is the health effect from the waste. There is also health effects that comes in line. First, the absence of environmental accountability and understanding has a significant influence on human health. Okay? More than 1,000 chemicals used in the production of millions of different plastics items on the market today are known to disrupt the endocrine system, okay, and cause cancer. They have been linked to cancer, infertility, Alzheimer's disease, miscarriage, developmental difficulties, and other conditions. So the Teflon, even the Teflon that we are using or utilizing, that contains a very dangerous chemical composition, which is the forever PFA, or what we call forever chemicals. So from this, if there is no proper discard or disposal of garbage or waste, that could lead to a very serious health issues. Okay, next. Okay, and the third one is, apart from the climate change, apart from the health issues, is the impact on the wildlife, yeah, kepada flora and fauna. So we are continuously treating our seas as dumping grounds, and plastics make up the vast bulk of the waste that we discard. So apart from discarding the waste to the landfill, some of the people choose to dump the waste into the sea, into the ocean or the river, or just the drain, but towards the end, it will go to the ocean or the river. Okay, so all marine creatures, including fish, mammals, birds, and crabs, devour bits of this plastic or solid trash as it breaks up into smaller and smaller pieces. Okay, so wildlife is frequently incapable to discriminate. They don't know how to discriminate between food and also plastic garbage. And in certain situations, they are drawn to it by its odor. Researchers discovered that an estimated 19 to 23 million tons of plastic garbage is discarded into the seas, which is very concerning matter to all of us. Each year that 1,500 different species, mostly whales, sea turtles, and seabirds have swallowed hazardous plastics and microplastic. So from the picture here is just a very, very, very tiny effect to the wildlife. Okay, there are more effect to the wildlife beyond imagination that we haven't witnessed yet. Okay, so you can see that the turtles, all this wildlife, sometimes you can see the straws stuck inside the nose of the turtles, and suffocate them, and eventually they will die. Okay, and we know some of the wildlife, they are endangered species. Okay, and we don't at the brink of extinction, and we don't want this to happen. Okay, we want to protect the wildlife because we want a balanced life with the flora and solar fauna and also this wildlife. Next. Okay. Yeah, introduction. So the traditional economy that builds on a linear model has been driving the economic growth for years. The linear model consists of resources extraction, manufacturing products, consumption waste. The finite resource existence and its reliance upon it has posed a threat to the environment and doesn't align with sustainability goals set upon it. Thus, the emergence of circular economy promotes an alternative change towards a regenerative and sustainable economic system. Okay, so a circular economy is a model, economic model, that aims to eliminate, menghapuskan waste and pollution, circulate the products and materials at their highest value, and regenerate the natural systems. It is a shift from the traditional linear take, make, waste, okay, to a more sustainable system where resources are kept in use for as long as possible. Okay. The key principle of a circular economy are, firstly, eliminate waste and pollution. Secondly, circulate products and materials at their highest value. And thirdly, regenerate nature. A circular economy reduces material use, redesign materials and products to be less resource intensive, and recapture waste as a source to manufacture new materials and products. This helps address climate change, biodiversity change, biodiversity loss, waste and also pollution. Okay, next. Okay. The main idea in circular economy is that it maximizes the efficiency of resources and minimizes waste being produced. The strategies of the R, in which consists of reduce, reuse, refurbish, remanufacture, and recycle, offer to accomplish the main goal of circular economy. Hollander stated that there is no concept of waste in circular economy, as it is seen as one of the resources, as it was designed and intended. This economic system does offer some reliefs in environmental impact, but its implementation affects beyond just that. As circular economy focuses on maximizing resources efficiency, it creates a resilience economy, where businesses are able to lessen their dependence on raw materials and reducing cost of waste. Plus, circular economy promote good health and social being as strategies implemented decreasing pollution, thus creating a healthy community. Okay, so because there are the climate change effects, there are the health effects and wildlife loss effects. So by reusing, repurposing all the waste being generated, then there is a new high value added product and lesser costs for us to manage the loss from discarding waste. Okay, so instead the waste itself being the waste, it is remanufactured to be a product which benefits the society. Okay. So the circular economy and Madani economy framework, they share some common goals and principle of sustainable development, as it emphasizes both the circular economy and the Madani framework. So the Madani framework is one of the latest framework by the Malaysian economy. Okay, so the main pillar of it is to benefit the rakyat, which is the society. And transforming Malaysia economy and establish it as leading economy in Asia. In a similar vein, the circular economy prioritizes environmentally friendly practices, renewing natural resources, natural systems, and getting rid of the waste and pollution in order to promote sustainable economic growth. Okay. Furthermore, the Madani Economy Framework fosters innovation and the creation of new business models that can boost economy resilience by encouraging techniques like resource recovery, sustainable supply chain management, and product redesign. The circular economy stimulates innovation. In addition to lacking environmental issues, this synergy may result in the development of new industries and employment possibilities. Okay, so because there are new high value added products, so thus it creates more economic activities as well as employment opportunities for the people. Next. Okay. So this is figuratively the circular economy versus the linear economy. So the left side is the direct framework, the one that is traditionally or conventionally being conducted, which is which is a take, make, use, and dispose chain. So it's just like that. Okay. However, on the right-hand side is the circular economy. So you can see there are some circular there, in a sense that some of the waste are being taken, recycled, repurposed as a much more beneficial and innovative creation, which creates monetary value and purpose in the society. Okay. And then at the end of the chain, the waste will be the unavoidable waste that cannot be further repurposed, that will be disposed or discarded into the landfill. Okay, next. Okay, example of circular economy implementations. Okay. So as the country is gearing towards the circular economy, so of course we are still very new, but there are some implementations that have already been done, especially to main industrial sector, not really main, but main crop, for example. Okay. So in Malaysia, there is an ongoing shift towards circular economy as it promotes resources efficiency and waste reduction. So according to ISA, Malaysia has taken steps in implementing circular economy, such as promoting green products, sustainable development, and reorganized waste management. Okay. So one of the main examples can be seen from the palm oil industry. Okay? The circular bioeconomy is centered on using sustainable techniques to maximize resource use and also waste and reduce waste. Malaysia, world's second largest producer of CPO, crude palm oil, is progressively using the concept of circular economy to tackle environmental issues related to palm oil production, such as waste management and also deforestation. So this strategy places a strong emphasis on recycling and reusing biomass waste and other byproducts of palm oil, okay, for the production of energy, tenaga, animal feed, makanan haiwan, and other goods with added value. So this industry seeks to improve economic viability and lessen its ecological impact by using circular bioeconomy practices and global sustainable goals. Okay, so below it, there are some examples. Okay, for example, the empty fruit bunches, okay, EFB, can be utilized as mulch or compost, returning nutrients to the soil and improving crop yields while also reducing waste disposal issues. So instead of just throwing it away into the landfills, so the empty fruit bunches can be used as compost, okay, for providing nutrients for the palm oil crops and other crops as well. And secondly is a palm oil meal effluent, sisa dari palm oil, sisa kilang palm oil. If I'm not mistaken, kilang is fabric, is it? Yeah. Fabric, right? Fabric, yeah, kilang. Sisa minyak sawit kilang, okay? Traditionally viewed as a pollutant, okay, can be treated to produce biogas through anaerobic digestion, offering a renewable energy source for mill operations and also for the local community. So instead of discarding the palm oil effluent, sisanya, it can be processed and then producing a renewable energy which can be used by the public, okay, the mill, and also for the local communities for energy. And companies are converting oil palm trunks, okay, into engineered wood products. Okay, so first they produce it as compost, aja. Secondly is they produce it as energy, okay? And thirdly is they produce it into engineered wood products. By producing the wood product, actually this helps with the deforestation issues. Instead of resorting for new areas to obtain timber for wood product, so people or business people can resort for wood product from the palm oil from this palm tree instead. Okay, sustainable insect protein production from black soldier flies that consume palm kernel cake is another innovative use of waste, creating animal feed. Okay, so they also produce animal feed, which is makanan untuk haiwan, and reducing reliance on traditional feed sources. So instead of creating a different animal feed, so why not use this resource, okay, from the palm trees instead, palm trees waste, so that can lessen the waste that is generated. Okay. Next. Okay, so another example of circular economy implementation, tadi just now is from the palm oil industry. So another example is from the sago industry. So sago is one of the Sarawak, which is where I come from, which is located in the Borneo Island, near Kalimantan. So Sarawak is one of the global exporter of sago. Okay, so that is one of the main agriculture crop for the state. So what happened here is the sago manufacturers, they collaborated with the research center. They also adopted the circular economy concept within the Sarawak sago sector, with the aim of addressing the issue of river pollution resulting from improper disposal of sago waste. The first biocompressed natural gas plant mode made from sago waste is being developed by the research center. The facility utilizes sago mill effluent, sisa pembuangan sago atau sago, and wet sago fibers to produce value-added commodities. Okay, and this includes biogas. So from the waste itself, they produce biogas for energy and heat, okay, as well as dry sago hampas. So for the wet one, they use it to produce biogas energy, and for the dry hampas, they use it for animal feed, which is the food for animal. Another example is by Petronas Malaysia. Okay, Petronas is the biggest oil and gas company in Malaysia. Okay, so Petronas is advocating the circular economy strategy to mitigate plastic waste and lessen its ecological footprint. reusing and repurposing materials, turning trash into products, putting in place a closed-loop system, okay, employing biogas, bio-based inputs and sharing platforms to optimize resources are the 5 main areas they are concentrating. So Petronas, they are advocating on circular economy plastics. Okay, they have also collaborated with other companies to obtain the technology to make it easier to break down the plastic, because we know that each plastic has different grades, different types, and you cannot just throw all the plastics all together and process them. No. But then again comes a new technology in which it makes it easier to process the plastics that are being discarded or disposed. Okay, by 2030, Petronas wants to recover 100% of the plastic trash that correspond to their domestic polymer sales through innovation, cleanup, infrastructure development, and education. Okay, so these are the policies related to the circular economy in the country. So firstly is circular economy policy framework. So Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry introduced this framework as a roadmap for developing circularity, meaning to say the movement towards circular economy is supported highly by the government by employing this policy. Especially in the manufacturing and recycling industries. Okay, so it highlights the value of international collaboration and scientific skills in promoting long-term prosperity. So secondly is the 12 Malaysia Plan. Okay, so it was launched in 2021. So it commits considerable funds to development initiatives that promote circular economy solutions, particularly in high-impact areas such as manufacturing, tourism, and also agriculture. So this strategy intends to reset the economy while maintaining inclusiveness and environmental preservation and protection. Okay, so thirdly is National Plastic Sustainability Roadmap. So the roadmap intends to convert Malaysia to a sustainable plastic economy by fostering circularity across the plastic value chain. So product design improvements, recycling system enhancement, and the implementation of extended producer responsibility rules are all important methods. The strategy stresses collaboration among the government, industry sectors, and civil society to achieve its objectives. And finally is the National Biomass Strategy 2020. The goal was to evaluate how Malaysia may create new sectors and high-value prospects by using agricultural waste for high-value goods. Beginning with oil palm, the research aimed to establish the biomass sectors in Malaysia to boost GDP and provide high-value employment for Malaysians. Okay, so here are some of the gaps in circular economy policies in Malaysia. So just now is a slide on the circular economy practice. So here are some of the gaps in the policy that I view. Firstly is lack of comprehensive legal framework. Current legislation, which includes the Environmental Quality Act of 1974 and the Solid Waste and Public Cleansing Management Act of 2007, offer little support for CE projects. So of course, the current Environmental Quality Act, it supports environmental preservation and protection, but not so much on circular economy. Okay, there is no overall legislative structure expressly committed to circular economy activities, hindrance concerted efforts across industry. So if there is a legislative which address this circular economy issue, so that will boost the implementation of more circular economy across different sectors. Secondly is the operating challenges. Limited recycling infrastructure, current recycling infrastructure are insufficient to fulfill consumer needs for recycled products. Improving collection, sorting, and recycling infrastructure is necessary to properly promote CE activities. So currently, the recycling center or facilities are still lacking in many states in Malaysia, especially in the rural areas. And thirdly is low awareness and engagement. Local economy activity are generally unaware of the advantages and procedures for moving to a circular economy. Numerous companies, notably small, medium SMEs, need focused education and action to strengthen capacity to comprehend circular design concepts and sustainable methods of operation. So from here we can see that the third point is there are still lacking in terms of the awareness and also education. From my perspective or point of view, it is important for us to focus on inculcating the knowledge and awareness for all society, especially for the younger generation or youth, because the youth is the future. And also knowledge is power, so that needs to be emphasized. Next. Okay, so looking at the gaps in the policies as well as looking at the gaps at the policy, especially the third one on the law awareness and also knowledge. This led to the need to study on the circular economy among youth. Okay, so the purpose of this research is to identify the factors that affect youth purchasing intentions of circular economy products in Kota Samarahan, Sarawak, Malaysia. Okay, so this is a preliminary study for my research, just to see the youth purchasing intention of CE products, to see how far they would go for CE products. Next. Okay, so the methodology, sample size approximately 215. So we're using questionnaires and PLS SEM method for the methodology. Next. Okay. So this is the conceptual framework. The main theory we're using is TPB. We embed some other variables. Jadi penentunya adalah attitude, subjective norm, perceived behavioral control, perceived sacrifice, moral norm, and environmental concern. So we want to see how does this, yang di kiri, the left-hand side, influence youth to purchase CE products. Next. Okay. From the analysis, we can see that all variables are significant. Attitude, subjective norm, perceived behavioral, moral norm, environmental concern are significant, except for perceived sacrifice. Next.
5 minutes later.
Okay, I will just highlight one of this point. So all are significant except for perceived sacrifice. So the final point is a strong concern for environmental issues drive youth to seek out a CE option as awareness of ecological challenges continues to grow. This factor will likely remain a pivotal determinant in shaping consumer behavior. The increasing prevalence of environmental education and activism among youth suggests that this concern is becoming more deeply ingrained in their purchasing decision. Next. Okay, so this study investigates the driver of youth purchase intention for circular economy items, giving insights into the psychological and social elements that impact sustainable consumer behavior. So overall, this study emphasizes the importance of consumer attitudes and social factors in building a sustainable circular economy, implying that continued education and supporting policies are required for wider acceptance of CE practices in Malaysia. Next. Okay, so this is important, and we know that globally the world is moving towards the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So these are the three main goals to achieve, particularly with circular economy. The first one is responsible consumption and production. Evidently, if we have any product, we don't just throw it away. Okay, so we need to ensure that we recycle, repurpose, or create other value-added product. And until there is no more that can be processed, and then that will be discarded into the landfill. Secondly is climate change, SDG 13, by lowering GHG emissions associated with resource extraction, production, and waste management, which encourage sustainable resource usage and energy efficiency. And 8 is for decent work and economic growth, as by making shift to a circular economy may lead towards the creation of new jobs in the industries, including sustainable product design, remanufacturing, and recycling. This is in line with SDG emphasize on encouraging equitable and long-term economic growth. But I would like to emphasize the importance of SDG number 17, which is the stakeholder partnership. So we will not stand alone. With all this, we need to partner with different stakeholders in ensuring that we will achieve the goal of sustainability. Okay, so this study, part of this study is from my research grant, which is Modeling Circular Economy Framework of Seco Production Efficiency in Malaysia. So basically, the study being conducted is a preliminary study on youth specifically. Okay, so I think that's it for my presentation. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, very insightful of the presentation about the circular economy. I think we have the more of the discussion. Interesting topic, Dr. Saima, especially about the awareness and engagement. I think because all of us, the big problem to implement of the sustainability is about the awareness and engagement. Okay. For the next presentation, time is your Professor Muhammad Ashraf bin Abdullah. Time is yours. The slide presentation, please.
The slide I have given to Natalie. Alright. Okay. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to my respected our moderator, Dr. Yulia, the MC for today's session, the docent of Jember, my respected Prof. Herman, and dear pelajar mahasiswa-mahasiswi yang saya kasihi. Ya, terima kasih. Thank you very much for inviting us to this international seminar, which is I guess this is an annual event of the the program of development economics in this university and in this faculty. Yeah. So I will want to cut it short. Yeah. Today my presentation will be on. I would like to share the knowledge on public transportation. Transport economics is one of my field of study. My PhD is also in airline economics. So. For this research, I shift a little bit to different mode of transportation, which is also quite popular public transportation in Malaysia and in many other parts of the world, yeah, regardless of developed or developing country. Yeah. So this presentation is actually part of my research funded by the Ministry of Higher Education. Yeah, we call this as the Fundamental Research Grant. Yeah, on the modeling of what you call it, land public transport in Malaysia. So for today's presentation, I will just take one portion of the focus of our research, the sample, which is on the bus public transit demand. Yeah, in the case of Klang Valley in, if you know, Kuala Lumpur. Some of you may have been to Kuala Lumpur, yeah, the capital of Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur is like Jakarta, yeah, in terms of what they call that public transportation. We do have various modes of public transportation for the population to commute, to work, to school, and to do their daily activities. Yeah, because of the congestion, yeah, of the traffic congestion. Yeah, to save time, we instead of carpooling, you can also what you call it, take public transport. But I was informed by Dr. Julia just now in Jember, it is not maybe not that much demand for public transport. Yeah? Students, they usually ride on their own sepeda, or maybe they walk to the campus if they are staying nearby. Lecturers, of course, they drive to the faculty. Of course, alhamdulillah, they can manage to buy a car. But in large cities, yeah, how do I control? I will be controlled by you. Okay, so for large cities, they have to rely on public transportation to save time to travel, yeah, to do daily activities. Okay, so that is the impact of public transportation on our, what you call it, our target, yeah, the goal of United Nations, which is to ensure sustainable development by 2030. So that is part of our initiative too, untuk memastikan kita mencapai hasrat sebagai sebuah negara atau bangsa yang sustained environmentally in terms of transportation. Okay, so my presentation today will be divided into 5 sections. Yeah, the introduction is already quite long just now, pembuka caranya, and then the second one is lit review, yeah, methodology, results in section 4, and I will provide a brief summary of the conclusion, chapter 5 for this study. Okay, next please. Okay. The focus of this study is Lembah Kelang, or another name for it is Greater Kuala Lumpur. It consists of towns or cities nearby Kuala Lumpur, adjacent to Kuala Lumpur, because the Klang Valley is quite a big area. Yeah, maybe just like Jakarta, with the surrounding by what we call it suburbs or small towns or maybe cities nearby. So that is Kuala Lumpur, and it is one of the the most populated, what you call it, I call it as area, yeah, in Peninsular Malaysia, it's Semenanjung Malaysia. Yeah, Malaysia is divided into 2 parts. Yeah? We have Peninsular Malaysia, where Kuala Lumpur and Klang Valley is located, and there are like, I think, more than 10 states in Peninsular Malaysia, and we have the other island where our university is located. Yeah, the Sarawak is located at the Borneo Island, where we actually neighbor with province of Kalimantan Barat, yeah, Indonesia. So we are neighbor. So Indonesia is very close to our heart because we are neighbor, yeah, in that sense. We are neighboring in terms of the border of Kalimantan Barat. Yeah. So that is the coverage of the study today. Yeah. With the population of about 7 million, yeah, concentrated on in Klang Valley itself, so that what you call it, pool the resources, yeah, make the resources strain. including not only facilities like infrastructure, but also like hospitals, health, education, but also public transportation. So there is what you call it, high priority has been focused on public transportation, particularly in the Klang Valley, because the traffic congestion, particularly during peak hours. Peak hours is the period during lunchtime, during in the early in the morning, where everyone travel to school, travel to what you call it, to work, and to do their daily house chores. So that create what you call it, traffic problems, traffic congestion that actually consume a lot of our time. Because time is actually money, right? Betul ya? Masa adalah duit. The 1 hour that you spend in the congestion, in the traffic congestion, if you translate into money, okay, for a lecturer maybe they earn like 200 ringgit, 200, berapa? Okay, maybe 200 ringgit, ringgit Malaysia. 1 ringgit Malaysia is equivalent to 3,500 something like that rupiah. So maybe in Malaysia like 200 ringgit average pay for a lecturer. So you just imagine if you stuck in the gym for 4 hours, you can actually deliver a lecture in other university working part-time and earn 400 ringgit. If you were to translate the value of time into money. Because we are at the Faculty of Economics and Business, money is matter. Correct? Alright. So that is the next slide, please. Okay, this is the supplier, what you call it, the main supplier of the public transportation in the Greater Kuala Lumpur or the Klang Valley area. The Prasarana Malaysia Berhad is the company that has taken the small, the small scale bus companies, and also the LRT, the light rail transit, the kereta api, not the kereta api, the city rapid transit, rapid bus, all of that were under the under the management of Prasarana Malaysia Berhad. It's a big company that focuses on transportation, which is under the government of Malaysia, with the aim to manage and provide a seamless journey through integrated transportation infrastructure, where we pool all the infrastructure to provide public transportation services in terms of different modes. If you notice, there is the rapid rail, we have rail, LRT, the light rail transit. If you go to Kuala Lumpur, you can, like in Jakarta, from one from one shopping mall to another shopping mall, from KL Central, for example, you want to go to KLCC. I think some of you may have been to Kuala Lumpur. You maybe know the Kuala Lumpur City Centre, the Twin Towers. Okay, so you can take the light rail transit. Okay, but my focus today is on the bus. So Prasarana Malaysia Berhad actually manage the different mode of public transportation, focusing on Klang Valley, as well as, if you notice, we also have MyRapid. They call it as MyRapid. Why Rapid? Because it is like transit, public transit. MyRapid Penang for Mr. OK. He has been to Penang. So MyRapid Penang, the bus. The bus system is managed by the Prasarana Malaysia Berhad. And also MyRapid Kuantan in Pahang, is one of the states in Malaysia. Okay, the next slide, please. Okay, moving to sustainable transport, because when we talk about sustainable development, bila kita berbicara pasal pembangunan yang apa termanya dalam Indonesia, is it mampan? In Malaysia kita panggil pembangunan mapan. Sustainable development. Berkelanjutan. Pembangunan berkelanjutan. Thank you for the translation. Okay. So, yes, transportation or public transportation is one of the focus. Not only in terms of the way we produce goods and services that we need to be sustainable, but we can also look at the aspect of transportation, because if you look at transportation, transportation is energy, is run by energy, right? So transport contributed to like 1/3 or 1/4 of the total greenhouse gases emission globally. That's a lot, and you imagine that as we grow, as our economy grow, we accumulate, we discharge a lot of greenhouse gases emission, which will in the long term will change our climate condition, yeah, and will lead to many environmental issues, just like what Dr. Zaiman was talking about just now. So Dr. Zaiman was talking about the production. Yeah? Mine is talking about the transportation services that also discharge this environmental waste to the environment, and particularly to the air. And if we talk about the infrastructure, maybe the unused infrastructure that were dumped in terms of greater bus, how we're going to dispose it in a proper way so that it is friendly to our environment. Yeah. So having said that, we focus on public transportation because we know that the impact is very big towards the environment if we don't tackle the issue early. Next slide, please. Okay. And this was spelled in the 2030, the agenda of the United Nations, that we were that this transportation, sustainable transportation has been associated to many other issues such as the issue of food security, healthcare, energy, economic growth, infrastructure, as well as sustainable city and human settlement. Human settlement in terms of housing, sustainable housing, and etc. The next slide, please. Okay, the objective of the study. There are two main objectives of the study. Of course, the main objective is to develop the demand model for bus public transit. But there are two specific objectives. The first one is to examine consumer perceptions on public bus transit and the impact on the perceived consumer satisfaction for public bus transit as a choice of mode for daily commuting. So, because consumer satisfaction is important, if we want to promote the riders riding on public transit or public bus, we have to make sure that we tackle the consumer first, the user. So we need to look. That is why we examine the consumer satisfaction, to look at how consumer perception can attract people to change their habit in terms of commuting from using unsustainable way of commuting towards commuting by on public transit. Because if you commute on public transit, there will be less energy use because we pull the car. Everyone, for example, in a bus we can easily accommodate 30 to 40 people in bus. So as compared to if each of the person in the bus drive on their own, you imagine how much waste in terms of energy waste, in terms of carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide discharged into the environment, and how much our nature and also life on the earth being destroyed because of that. Secondly is to investigate the demand determinants for public bus transit. The next slide, please. Okay, the literature review. These are some of the related literature in terms of consumer satisfaction, in terms of bus ridership, and also the next slide, please. Just go through. And I purposely selected the latest literature. The next slide, please. These are some of the literature on determinants for the selection of public bus transit. The next slide. Some of them I will not go through. I think everyone can read this. Yeah? The next slide, please, to save the time. Okay. The last one. Okay. So that is the literature review and methodology. Thank you. Okay. Methodology. Yeah? This research, is actually consists of, as I said, various mode of public transportation. But I just take this chunk of sample for the purpose of sharing with you guys this morning. Yes, which is on a public bus. So our study, we conduct a study on 528 sample of users of public bus transit, in Klang Valley area only. Yeah, and I also cover Penang because Penang also have bus users and what do you call that? Johor Bahru has been omitted because there are not many people that use public bus transit, because in Johor Bahru many of them were using long distance bus, express bus, like from Jember to Surabaya city center, for example. So that is people as long distance express bus. Yeah. So our sample is 528 use of urban bus user from Klang Valley. And this sample is guided by Stephen 1996, page 72, that said that 50 participants for each predictor to make sure that the size of the sample is sufficient. So 15 participants. So 15 participants times how many predictor, how many independent variables we have. So we times by that, I think 528 is good enough to represent the population of based on this guideline. Yeah? And also based on Tanabashi and Fidel 2013, that says that the size of sample should be 50 plus 8 M. M is the number of independent variables. So imagine if I have 10 independent variables, so 50 plus 80 is around 130. So meaning that the minimum sample is 130 according to Tanabashi and Fidel. So our sample is relatively higher, larger than that. So that that makes the study more reliable in terms of when we want to generalize it to the context of different situations. Okay, data. Okay, the data. The next one after we have collected, because we conduct a survey through survey questioning. Of course, the survey instrument we in terms of the format, we follow previous studies format. I did not mention here, but and then we combine it to suit the purpose of our study in the context of past. So we analyze the study, the data using what we call as just a simple method. Just a simple method. We call it as the standard multiple linear regression model. That is a very basic baseline model in economics, because now economics, maybe Dr. Yulia, I think very familiar with econometrics, so she will use maybe point integration, maybe what else, error correction model, vector error correction model, so all the sophisticated model. But for this study, to make it simple so that everyone can understand, it is good to leverage on what you call it, something that is basic but still provide the benefits to us. Right? Okay. And then we conduct diagnostic check for the data, because in order for us to use the standard multiple linear regression technique, we need to assume that data are free from multicollinearity problem, outliers. Most important one is normality. Your data must be normal within the bell-shaped curve. And also linearity. So with that assumption holds, we can actually model the demand for bus public transit using multiple linear regression technique. The next slide, please. Okay, some of the result, not the result, I just present some of the diagnostic check for you to see. This diagnostic check is for you to see, to know whether the data are normal. Although the first line was not very straight, but still it is within the straight line. So that shows, and the scatter plot is centered at the center, yang zero value. If you notice, there is a value of 0 in the middle. So that shows that our variable, satisfaction variable, which is one of the dependent variable for the study, is normal, and meaning that it is appropriate for us to use the simple multiple regression technique to regress the model of customer satisfaction in the context of past. The next one, please. Next slide. Okay, this one is the normality test for the second dependent variable, yeah, in terms of frequency of rides on city public bus transit. This is actually our demand variable, yeah, the frequency of city demand, meaning that how much people are willing to ride on public. This is not how much they are willing to ride, but actually they are the users of the bus. So we don't actually call them perceived, but I mentioned it as perceived. This is actually actual one, yeah, the actual one. We don't study the perceived behavior. Okay, so also normal. Yang sebelah kanan tu ada sedikit macam, because of the nature of the data, it is like that. It's supposed to be like concentrated in the middle of yang zero values too. Alright, okay, the next slide please. I need what do you call it, mineral water. Maaf ya. I'm so sorry. I usually have problem with when I speak a lot, it gets dry, you know. So thank you. All right, let's move on. Okay, the reliability test. Yeah? Okay. Actually, this test, if you want to conduct this test, you will, some of the people, they will do factor analysis. I have basically ran the factor analysis for the two models, but I don't present the result here because at glance, it shows that factor analysis work with this model. Yeah, for perhaps in the next stage, when I have sufficient time, I will, what you call it, I will simplify. I will what do you call it? Conclude it in my next report. Yeah. So a reliability test, yeah, to test the reliability of the dependent variable, because one of the dependent variables is consumer satisfaction for bus use of public bus. The alpha value is incredibly high, yeah, 90%. From 19 items that we tested, so that shows that it's reliable. Yeah, the instrument that we use in terms of the items. Yeah, because when you use primary data, yeah, you collect your own data. It is not easy. I am not a primary data person actually, because we are economists. We usually just rely on secondary data, but because of this research. So I have no choice. I have a graduate student who is who is doing her PhD under this grant. But yeah, so I really rely on her a lot also to help me to design the questionnaire, to learn from outside to get the right questionnaire. Yeah? Okay, the next slide please. I should have the compact alpha result also for the bus demand model, but I forgot to include it. But it was 90% also, so within the acceptable range. Yeah, and this is the descriptive statistics result of the respondents' demographic data. Kan biasa bila kita buat a survey, we will collect data on the demography of the respondent. Ya, seperti nama, umur, jantina, ya, the gender. Marital status, what else? The ethnicity, because sometimes, not always. Sometimes the usage of public bus or different mode of public transport may be just confined to certain ethnic, maybe accidentally. So we collect that down there. The next slide, please. Religion, next slide. So this is the frequency of the respondent. Okay, next slide, please. marital status, the place of birth also. We try to collect as much as demographic data, yeah, so that in the future, if we need to check the tendency for the user to use public bus, we can perhaps look at maybe different place of birth associated to different demand pattern of public bus. Yeah. The next slide. Okay, this is the academic qualification of the users. Yeah. From the lower education towards the higher education. Next slide, please. Next. This is the job type. Next slide. Industry. We also collect the data of the respondent by type of industry that they engage in, because they have job specification and industry. The next one, please. The next one. Okay. This is the statistics, descriptive statistics for the variable on perceived consumer satisfaction. Yeah. So these are the item, but I also consider it as variable. Yeah. I also consider it as a variable. Yeah, so these are the items that form the consumer satisfaction for public bus transit usage in the Klang Valley. So you can see that, do you understand? Because this is in Bahasa Malaysia actually. Persepsi is sama, isn't it? Perception. Persepsi pengangkutan awam bus disebabkan kesesakan. So that is how they perceive. They use public bus, their perception about the use of public bus untuk mengelakkan kesesakan, to avoid traffic congestion. Secondly is public perception of public bus. Maybe you mudah sesat. Tahu tak sesat? Sesat jalan. Mudah sesat. Kan? If you are not familiar with the bus system, with the routes of the bus, you may be sesat kalau you nak pergi ke mana? Malang menaiki bus dari sini ke Malang, for example. Yeah? Mungkin sesat. You don't know where is the stop. Right? Alright. Okay, the next one. Ini semua perception mengenai dia ada banyak lah. So this is the descriptive statistic in terms of the mean and also the other statistics values. The next one, please. Okay, this is the result of the descriptive statistics for the demand determinant for city bus public transit. Kita ada what are the variables that form the demand determinants. We have the dependent variable, which is represented by the frequency of usage of public bus. The next one is the income factor, pendapatan bulanan utama, income factor. Jarak rumah daripada perhentian bus, the distance between the house and the nearest bus station, bus stop. Okay, this matter. And then the academic qualification of the respondent. And then we also regress it against there are several variables that form the perception for bus usage. Ya, ada banyak variable di sini. Bus pengguna bus menyebabkan kos yang rendah. Yeah, maybe that is one of the reasons why people want to take public bus. Yeah, maybe that reason is not applicable in Jember, but maybe in Malaysia it is applicable in another part of the cities that have what do you call that, very serious traffic jam. Okay, persepsi pengangkutan awam menjimatkan masa perjalanan. Faham? That is in save time, efficient in terms of time. Yeah. Okay, the next one is environmental concern, yeah? Kesedaran alam sekitar kaitan dengan bus, penggunaan bus, yeah? And then kesesakan. What is the, because we use a Likert scale from 1 to 10. 1 is the lowest, 10 is the highest. Yeah? If they agree that bus menyebabkan sesat, so 10 will be the highest. So this person is totally said, if you take public bus, the chances for you to get lost is very high. Okay. Keterampilan diri is image. Yeah. Ada orang kata saya tak pakai quote, saya tak nak naik public bus, nanti saya perlu image. Yeah. We also look into that. Kurang percaya, unreliable. You don't trust public bus, perhaps for some reason. Yeah. And then issue parking terhad, issue parkir yang terhad, limited parking space. Could be also one of the reasons why people choose public transit. Because in Malaysia, in many parts of Malaysia city or towns, looking for parking is very difficult, and parking is costly. Mahal. If you are working, for example, you may spend up to $20 or 20 ringgit per day if you park for like 8 jam, if you don't buy a season parking. So the implication in terms of cost. And then the next one is the parking fee is expensive, parking terhad, parking mahal. Ketersediaan bus. Does the bus service tersedia here? Is it available? And is it many, sufficient to cater for the number of users or riders? And then kebimbangan kesehatan. Nowadays, many people, they are reserved in terms of taking public bus or public transit. Why? Because we have learned from COVID-19 that pandemic can spread very fast from the air, from the very confined or cooped environment, daripada sekitaran yang don't have a very good airflow, like in the bus, for example, kalau airconnya tak bagus, so the chances for you to get infected by germs, by bacteria is very high. So since COVID-19, many people start concerned about taking public transit. If they were to take public transit, they will wear a mask. Okay? And technology jadual perjalanan is about, is there a technology that, or an app that can be used by the user to plan their journey? In the context of rapid Kuala Lumpur, rapid bus or rapid rail, they have an app that is called as Pulse. That Pulse app you can use in Penang Bus Rapid, you can use also in Kuantan Bus Rapid. So that app enables you to manage your time, and you can also identify what is the price of fare from one destination point to another point from that app. So that app is a technological device that is useful to provide informed decision or information to consumer in order for them to plan their journey. Because if you don't plan your journey, you may get stuck in the jam, the traffic jam, right? So gaya hidup sehat. Some people said if you ride on a public bus or public transport, you are moving. Kalau you naik kereta, you are like static and kurang sehat. You need a lot of movement, especially for lecturers is okay, because lecturers, they are very active. Lecturers are very active. Why? We walk from one class to another class, sometimes very far away, sometimes half a kilometer. We travel from one lecture hall to another lecture hall. We were moving. But for students, some students, especially in Universitas, our students, even just for short distance from the Faculty of Economics and Business in Universitas to the Chancellery office, which is just within walking distance, some of them will take public transport, will take public grab car. Imagine that. So how unhealthy it is. So we need to build what they call it concern among especially the youngsters to what they call it to practice a healthy lifestyle. So it is the next slide, please. Jadual masa. Does the schedule fit with your schedule? And then masa menunggu, how long you have to waiting time. That also one of the concern for taking public transport, public transit, and factor cuaca. The cuaca. The weather in Asian country is basically hot and humid. The weather in Surabaya and in Malaysia, in Kuching, more or less the same. Sometimes extremely hot, sometimes extremely cold. No seldom we get cold. Most of the time, hot and humid throughout the years. Alright. So that may be one of the factors that hinder us from taking the public transit. Kita nak ride on a very relaxed condition with the air condition, kan? So we prefer to drive. Okay, the next one is flexibility bus. Does bus provide it's flexible in many ways. So those are also the factors that need to be taken into account when you want to decide to shift your choice in terms of traveling from one mode of transport, let us say from private car towards public transport. Yeah. Waktu puncak is peak hour. Okay. Kemudahan di dalam pengangkutan awam. Because nowadays, in the millennium, service is important. The services provided by the bus transit is very important. So whether the bus is equipped with air-conditioned bus, is with air conditioned with what we call it, maybe some very light music is put in the bus. Maybe the bus have enough seat for people to sit, yeah, and also what we call it, the physical appearance of the bus. It's also matter in order for you to choose bus, right? Yeah, who wants to ride on a bus that is like 50 years old bus that has no air condition? Definitely you will not, especially the new millennium, the youngsters. Agree or not? Agree? Doesn't agree? Right? So, sifat pekerjaan, the nature of your job. If you are a worker, some of you may need to carry your belongings to office, especially, so carrying a belonging is another challenge for you to ride on public transit. Macam saya, I bring my doctor, I bring the laptop, so nak naik public transit ni, so that is not convenient. Yeah, so maybe nature of job also affect the choice of public transit. And then a status social that has been mentioned just now. Factor mudah is convenient. It's convenient to ride public bus. Yeah, interconnection, whether there are interconnection. Because if you need to go to the next destination C, you from destination A to B and then you connect to destination C. Is there a connection or not? So that is also one of the factors that is to be considered by user. Then bus as a choice to travel to workplace. How many of you ride on public bus? But definitely no, yeah. People don't ride on public bus. They ride on sepeda. Public, is it the e-hailing sepeda? It's private transport, individually owned. Oh, right.
But in our university, we have the public sepeda.
Yeah, rent bike.
Need to pay to use it.
Yes, but it's not very cheap, only 3,000. 2,000.
That's reasonable. That's reasonable. Okay, so interconnection, bus technology. Okay. Do you use bus to go shopping? Maybe last time, yes. If you tanya Dr. Zaiman, last time we go and shop at the nearest mall using public bus. That was way back in 1980s. Sudah lahir lah Dr. Zaiman in 1980s. Yeah, because I'm born much earlier than her. Alright, so had masa menunggu. Yeah, the duration, waiting duration. It's also affect choice of using public transport, because if the waiting duration is too long, yeah, the frequency of bus is not many, then people might as well. I will walk. I would rather walk if the distance is manageable for me to walk. Yeah. Okay, next one, please. Next slide. Okay, this is the result for model 1. Yeah, the customer satisfaction. The perceived customer satisfaction. We look at the predictor, yeah, the independent variable. Yeah. So if you look at this result, yeah, of course the result of the constant value shows that this model is significant. It's highly significant at 1% significance level with the very high t values. Statistically, this is acceptable, meaning that this model can basically explain. The independent variable can basically explain the independent variable well. Okay, we look at each of the item or the factor in the model. Yeah, the perception that bus mengelak kita sesatkan, so it was not significant. Yeah, that is the perception of consumer. Yeah, bus menyebabkan sesat. It's also not because the acceptance levels for us to reject the null hypothesis is it must, the p-value must be less than, the p-value must be less than, what do you call it, 0.05. So for this in this context, it is more than 10%. Yeah? So we couldn't reject. So meaning that effect variable is not significant. And then persepsi pengangkutan bus, we don't trust pengangkutan bus. So and this shows it is significant at 5% level. But and the direction is negative. The direction is negative, meaning that the more they perceive that bus will lead to they kurang percaya, the highest the score, the less likely they will ride on public bus. Itu the meaning of the negative relationship denoted by 0.142 in the standard coefficient beta value. Yeah? And then I will just look at the significant one. And then perception pengangkutan awam jadual masa. So jadual masa is very important. It relates positively, meaning that consumer perceive that jadual masa is very important. So the highest the score, the highest the tendency for consumer to ride on public bus. And then the persepsi pengangkutan awam bus, masa menunggu. Waiting period also matter in this context. Next one, and relate positively. In this context, go back to the previous slide. It is negative, meaning that how many more do I have?
3 minutes later.
Okay, I will wrap it up. Okay, so negative relationship. Yeah. The next slide, please. I need to wrap it up very soon. Sorry, but for taking your time. Alright. We just look at the significant factor. Perception pengangkutan awam mengurangkan risiko kemalangan. It is positive. Maknanya the more you think that pengangkutan awam will reduce the tendency for you to get involved in accident, the more likely you will choose public bus. Okay. Next one is perception. Previous one. Interconnection is also positively related to the choice of public bus. The next one. Next slide. Yang ini model 2. Model 2 we almost wrap it up, don't worry. Give me 1 minute. Okay, the constant value is also highly significant, denoted by the high T value, 11.2. And this is equivalent to 1% significant level, which is very high. Okay, if we look at pendapatan bulanan, kalau we may think that income will determine choice of bus, but in this case, income is not significant. Meaning that income is not strong enough to persuade people to change their use of their shift towards public bus, whether to use or to reluctant to use public bus. And then the result highlighted in yellow, the one is significant. Kesedaran alam sekitar. Kesedaran alam sekitar is 5%. Negative relationship. This result, maybe we need to explain in a different way. Yeah, it looks like the more you think that bus, this is a kind of the timing. Okay, and then persepsi parking terhad is positively related to public bus. So meaning that if people perceive that parking terhad, limited parking is the main concern, so they will use more public bus. Next one, please. Okay, the parking mahal, expensive parking also one of the reasons for people to move towards public bus, using a public bus, and ketersediaan is negatively related with public bus. I don't know for what reason. Dia sepatutnya dia positif, but perhaps we can explain that maybe because this study is based on behavioral study. The behavior of human is very difficult to predict. Okay, the next one, please. Yeah, all of this only one certificate. Perception of puncak relate negatively with the use of public bus, and then the perception bus untuk pekerja also negative. The next slide, please. Okay. So I think I don't have to conclude. We have already went through the result just now. The result shows that there are various factors that can be used to model demand that basically can determine the choice of public bus in the future. So meaning that the policymakers must make sure that they focus on those particular factors in order to upgrade the service of the bus so that we can attract users plus towards more sustainable practice. And the theme of our seminar today, which is sustainable development. Yeah. So with that, I thank you all of you for your attention. Yeah. Terima kasih semua.
Thank you, Dr. Asra Abdullah. Very insightful of the presentation and very comprehensive because integrated to the receipt base. So maybe all of you can ask to Dr. Asraf about the result of the research. And then the next of the presentation from our speakers, Dr. Farida Rahmawati. Have you joined Zoom? Okay. Assalamualaikum, Dr. Farida.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, clear, Doc. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Your time about 45 minutes, Doc, for the presentation time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. The committee, would you mind to help me to share screen? Bisa minta tolong share screen, panitia?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I'm Farida Rahmawati. I'm from Fakulty of Ekonomi and Bisnis, Universitas Malang. Thank you for the chance and to whom I respect the previous speakers, Associate Prof. Nur Zaimah binti Ubaidillah, PhD, and then Associate Prof. Muhammad Asraf bin Abdullah, PhD. Welcome to Indonesia, especially to Jember. Nice to meet you, even though it's only online meeting. Yes, I hope they will meet directly. Okay. And then also moderator Dr. Yudia Indrawati SE dan SE. Okay. Today we will continue our discussion about inclusive growth. My presentation is about inclusive growth, driving sustainable development for a better future. Okay, next. This is the outline of my presentation. The first is about introduction. Maybe some of my material have already explained before. And then the second is about measuring inclusive growth. And then the third is the intersection of inclusive growth and sustainable development. And then the next is achievement, challenge, and policy implication. And the last is conclusion. Okay, next. Yes, this is the basic concept of inclusive growth that starts from the idea that economic growth is important but not sufficient. Yes, I think all of us fully agree that economic growth is also very important but not sufficient for welfare improvement, because there is the increasing recognition that social welfare is also shaped by non-income dimension. What is it? This is about people's health, status, education, social relation, and also institution. Okay. And then the next is inclusive economic development. Economic development that creates growth, access, and opportunity for all levels of society in fair manner, increase welfare, and the point is reduce disparities between groups and regions. Okay, next. Okay, this is the elements of inclusive growth, because there are so many interpretation of inclusive growth, and then we must conclude with the elements of inclusive growth. The first is agricultural development, poverty reduction, equal distribution of income, employment generation, reduction in regional disparities. I think it's very important. Reduction in regional disparities, because Indonesia is a large country. And then the next is environment protection, industrial development, and social sector development. Okay, next. This is the point is why is it important? Why inclusive growth is important to discuss, important to implement. There are so many reasons, of course. The first is income and job opportunities, and the reasons are interconnected. Yes, income and job opportunities, and then growing and increasingly prosperous middle class, and then more sustainable domestic demand, and help business drive innovation and attract investment. Then next. The next is about how to measure inclusive growth achievement. I think it's very important because there are so many measurement of inclusive growth implemented in several countries. Okay. I just only take one of measurement. This is the Inclusive Development Index, was developed by Bisnis. What is it? It is a tool used to measure the inclusiveness of Indonesia's economic development, not only about national level, but also in regional level, and the provincial, and also district or city levels. And then the Inclusive Development Index measures the inclusiveness of development in three aspects, or we call it pillars. And the first pillar is economic growth, and then the second is inequality and poverty, and then the last is access and opportunity. The index, the Inclusive Development Index, was developed by Bisnis, consists of 3 pillars and 8 sub-pillars, between sub-pillars, and also have the indicators to measure. There are 21 indicators that to measure achievement of inclusive economic development in Indonesia. Next. This is the just only the summarize of the slide before. Yes, about the inclusive index development developed by Bisnis. Like what I said before, there are 3 pillars: growth and development, inclusion, and intergenerational equity and sustainability. And then 3 pillars have many indicators. For example, GDP, and then produktivitas tenaga kerja, and median household income, Gini, and so on. Yes, including dependency ratio, ya, atau rasio ketergantungan. Ya. Okay. Next. This is the achievement of inclusive Indonesia development, the achievement of index development inclusivity. The steady progress from 2013 until 2015 shows that the initial effort toward inclusivity had positive results during 2013 until 2015. However, the interaction improved during 2016 until 2020, especially during the pandemic. All of us know how the pandemic attract and then make the growth rate contractive, and then underline how inclusive growth can be faced with external shocks. And then what about after pandemic? The report in 2023 is a hopeful sign indicating that Indonesia is back on track. Is back on track, I mean like before 2013 until 2015. With policies that are likely benefiting a broader cross-section of society, and suggest that future policy focus should aim at maintaining the momentum while addressing underlying vulnerabilities. Okay, next. This is the argument or reasoning why inclusive growth is essential for sustainability. The first is environmental sustainability. The first reasoning is environmental sustainability because inclusive growth encourages equitable access to resource and environmentally friendly technology. And then the second is about economic equity and poverty reduction. Inclusive growth ensures that marginalized and vulnerable groups, including low-income population, have access to opportunities and resources. And then the third is resilience, because we talk about pandemic and about external or internal shocks. So inclusive growth is one of the instruments to make resilience from both external shocks or internal shocks. Inclusive economy are more resilient to global economic shocks by diversifying income sources and providing a safety net for vulnerable population. So countries can mitigate the impact of crises such as financial downturns or pandemics. Okay, and then the last reason about human capital development. Education, healthcare, and job opportunity for all are crucial for long-term sustainability. When these investments are inclusive, they unlock the potential of the entire population, leading to innovations and improvement in productivity. Okay, next. The next is about how inclusive growth supports sustainable development. There are three, I summarize, there are three ways how inclusive growth supports sustainable development. The first is access to education and skill. This is the, I think this is the keyword is the word with red color, yes. Investing in education and skill development ensure that people have the competency required to participate in and support sustainable industry, such as renewable energy, green construction, and sustainable agriculture. And then the second way is about economic diversification. Inclusive growth encourages diversified economies which are more resilient because have diversified economy, it's made more resilient to economic shock and environmental challenges. By involving all social group in industry, inclusive economies can better adapt to technological advancement and changing environmental conditions. And then the last is about community empowerment. Pemberdayaan masyarakat, I think it's very important to support sustainable development, and community empowerment is one of the action of inclusive growth. Inclusive growth fosters the active involvement of local communities in decision-making process related to development and environmental policies, leading to more effective and sustainable outcomes. Okay, next. Yes, this is the what I said before about the intersection between inclusive growth and sustainable development. As we know, sustainable development contains of three pillars: there is social, economic, and environmental. This is the intersection in social. Have education, training and skills, service and amenities, and so on. And then for economic, we have inclusive growth, we have good work, income, inclusive labor market, community, well-being, and then the environmental section, we have good environment, digital environment, transport and travel connectivity, and green economy. Okay. This is one all of the aspect or elements working together and interconnected each of them. Okay, next. Okay, this is the achievement of Indonesia in reducing disparity income. We have one of the indicator that we have been used to measure is Gini ratio. Yes, this is the Gini ratio Indonesia from 2019 until 2024. Ini angkanya menurun, tapi masih still in the range of average range. Jadi masih dalam batas rentangan ketimpangan sedang. Ya, oke, next. Another indicator to achieve inclusivity of the country is poverty rate. Dari sini kita lihat grafik tingkat kemiskinan di Indonesia di tahun from 2019 until 2024. Jadi di sini the area is about jumlah penduduk miskinnya, kemudian yang di sini adalah persentase penduduk miskin, gitu ya. Kalau kita lihat trennya jumlah penduduk miskin itu semakin meningkat di tahun 2024 ya, seperti itu. Oke. Berikut, next. Indonesia has many programs to implement or to achieve inclusive growth. Salah satunya, one of them is PKH, program keluarga harapan. Ya, this is the data about the beneficiaries of PKH, penerima manfaat, dan we can see that the amount of the beneficiaries is increased from 2019 until 2023. Ya, program keluarga harapan. Then next. Like what I said before, that one of disparity, beside income disparity, one thing that very important is regional disparity. Regional disparity karena Indonesia adalah negara besar, terdiri dari banyak pulau, maka equality, keseimbangan antar wilayah itu adalah hal yang very crucial. And then government issued some program. One of them is PESEW program, pengembangan infrastruktur sosial ekonomi wilayah. This is the data that show how effectiveness of the program PESEW. Okay, next. Next. Okay. There are some issues and also challenges of implementation inclusive growth in Indonesia. First is about poverty and access to basic service. Yes, and then the challenge is inclusive growth is difficult to achieve when large portion of the population remain in poverty or lack access to essential service. Ya, essential service maksudnya di sini adalah akses terhadap kesehatan, kemudian education, kemudian selain pendidikan, kesehatan dan another public service. Okay, more reduce social safety net along with improve access to healthcare, education, and affordable housing is essential for lifting people out of poverty. Affordable housing, I think, is very important because housing is one of the basic needs. According to Oktober, housing is one of the basic needs. So it's essential for lifting people out of poverty. Human capital development. Ensuring access to quality education and upskilling programs, especially for low-income and rural population, is essential for inclusive growth. Jadi ini juga isu yang ini juga sangat penting karena menyangkut pendidikan dan human capital, ya, sumber daya manusia. Kita sudah punya indikator yang kita sebut indeks pembangunan manusia, kan, development index. Oke. Dan sama dengan same with IDI tadi, bahwa dia diberikan juga sampai pada level distrik, ya, kota atau kabupaten. And then the next issue is about infrastructure and regional disparities, ya. These regional disparities need to be addressed by improving infrastructure, transport, digital connectivity, education, and healthcare in underdeveloped areas. A more balanced approach to regional development is essential for ensuring that economic growth benefit all regions equally. Ya, jadi memastikan bahwa pembangunan inklusif itu semua merasakan benefit of economic growth, itu dirasakan semua wilayah equally, ya, secara merata. Okay, next. This is the policy implication. After we have identified about the issues and challenges, the next is about the policy implication. First, there are 5 policy implications derived from issues and challenges that I have explained before. The first is ensuring open and competitive market and large market size could incentive firms to invest in innovation as they guarantee returns on investment. The keyword is ensuring open and competitive market. And then the second is about focus on capabilities. And then the third is about policy should ensure the condition for creative disruption to obtain in order to maintain incentive for innovation and adoption, and to support productivity enhancing re-education. And fourth is policies can promote spillovers across firms and across sectors. Spillover not only across firms to make more competitive, but also across sectors, because when we learn about unbalanced theory, this is must for us to make growth not only in one or two sectors or leading sector, but also in all sectors. So it's must for us to encourage sectoral linkage, maybe both of forward linkage or backward linkage. That spillover across firm can be skewed not only by increasing absorptive capacity to managerial quality and worker skill, but also through a fair and transparent design of intellectual property regime. And then the last is policies should ensure that productivity gains and its benefit are shared across firm and also workers. This is the last slide, I think. This is the conclusion. To achieve sustainable development, Indonesia must balance economic growth with social equity and environmental sustainability. I think it's a very hot issue about environmental sustainability. What way we can achieve balance economic growth with social equity and environmental sustainability? There are kelembagaan itu sesuatu yang sangat one of the determinant of economic growth. Yes. And then the last is infrastructure development. The second conclusion is from the other side of the policy, Dr. Farida. And then before we begin to the next session, Dr. Ashraf will show you about the
maybe just a little minutes of the video about the public transportation in Malaysia. Please, committee, you can play or show of the video from Dr. Azra. At the end, at the end of the slide, at the end of the slide. Yes, because you have a limited time for your presentation. Okay, di slide terakhir, Dr. Azra. Yes, just 1 minute. Maybe any other explanation to preview from this video, Prof. Dr. Ashraf?
Self-explaining, I mean, I can understand. And then if you see this bahasa Malaysia, bahasa Indonesia, not far, something aja.
Bagaimana? About the video? Copyright, need copyright, or from YouTube? I think that the link from YouTube.
This one is very good to show because this one is I think from.
Maybe any other explanation, Doctor? And the next video? The next video or only this video?
The next video shows the technology that is used to what you call pulse. They call the technology as pulse. Pulse is a technology that is used to manage the public transport. The user can use it to manage a journey. So this is one of the technology that has been used to help users to plan their journey, and they can also know the price of the fare, which is very good. A good initiative developed by Prasarana, the Jember, the sole supplier of this public transit in Jember.
Okay, I think it's enough. Atau ada tayangan lagi? Ada? Iya, silakan.
Is this 1 minute?
Just yes. Ini yang tadi ini ya, yang sesudahnya.
Bumi itu kan ramai sekali, manusia dan dunianya. Jangankan bertemu 1000.
Ini mana? Dia baru pindah di apartemen yang sangat cantik. Hari ini adalah hari pertama dia kembali bekerja, tapi dia tak pasti macam mana nak menaiki public transport dari sini. Air, semua tak menjadi masalah kerana Malik sudah install aplikasi PAL. Aplikasi PAL menunjukkan bas akan sampai tepat jam 8 pagi. Dah sampai. Tanpa setiap perjalanan, tak kisah bas atau train. Tapi hal tambah tidaklah menjadi masalah untuk Malik. Dia membeli bas tanpa hati Malik. Bisa kan Malik? Relax Malik, relax. Jangan terburu-buru. Tengok Malik, bukan awak seorang saja yang membelikan PAL. Sekarang kita dan Malik ke tempat kerja cuma tinggal menaiki lari ke bawah. Dan sampai. Malik tiba tepat pada masa. Good job Malik. Jom kerja.
Yes. Kalau Anda punyanya di Jakarta ya itu. Yeah. We have like that application Dr. Ashraf. We call it Gojek. Gojek, Go Car, and Go Ride. Yeah. We have the specific of the approach. In Jember, in all of the city in Indonesia.
So I guess that is like e-hailing app, isn't it?
E-hailing.
If we want to call for the
To call?
service to take us from
Yes, right. And we have the GoFood, so you can serve of the food from all of the shop in the city. Okay, thank you, Dr. Ashraf, for sharing your video. I think we can compare it in Malaysia and in Indonesia, but I'm sure that all of you have of so many of the questions, so many of the topic you will discuss with our presenter, Dr. Ashraf, Dr. Nur Zaimah, and Dr. Farida. And I open the first question from this side, and then the center and the left. Yes, right. Yes, you.
Okay, thank you, Julia. So my name is Dia Muskawati from Ekonomi Development, of course. So actually, I'm very nervous to meet and discuss with you, Professor. My question for you, Professor Ashraf. Yesterday, I reviewed some article about rebound effect, and I think it's very important in this area. So, what's your opinion about rebound effect, Professor? Rebound effect is like anomaly about if we increase policy, reduce.
Perhaps you can explain.
Mungkin you can explain in bahasa, it's okay. What is the definition of rebound?
Reduce resource, Professor. Jadi ketika kita meningkatkan kebijakan atau mendukung kebijakan green policy, itu akan meningkatkan konsumsi dari sumber daya tersebut, Profesor. Jadi ada gap atau anomali, ketidaksesuaian seperti itu. Jadi kebijakan apa yang what's a policy, green policy about rebound effect? So that's my question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when we have the increase of the policy regarding to the sustainability, sustainability development, and then they encourage of the increase of the use of that resource.
Yes.
Is it right?
Yes, right.
Jadi kalau policy-nya terkait dengan sustainability naik, kemudian penggunaan resource-nya jadi naik juga.
Yes. Iya.
Ya, itu anomalinya.
Peningkatan konsumsi dari sumber daya itu
Increase
naik.
of the
Jadi
consumption of that natural resource or sustainability resource. If when the government promote or increase the policy about the sustainability, and then the society will increase the consumption to that resource, that natural resource or the others, in the context or regarding of the sustainability. What is the effect? Maybe you can explain about the anomaly, Mbak. Jadi what is the anomalinya?
Anomaly from SDGs policy. Ya, ada ketidaksesuaian antara kebijakan yang seharusnya pemerintah itu lakukan untuk mengurangi, tapi karena adanya fenomena rebound effect ini, jadi tidak terwujud seperti itu.
Rebound
Yes, rebound effect.
Maknanya jika kerajaan promote sustainable practices, kan, it will encourage use of more resources, betul?
Yes.
Rebound.
Okay, as government, what do you mean by rebound effect? Based on your question just now is whenever the government come out with environmental policy, ya, contohnya. However, the consumption increase, begitu.
Yes.
The question is apa?
The question, if we increase policy about green innovation,
yeah,
the consumption from sumber daya resource,
ya.
the resource increase. Jadi kebijakannya itu tidak dapat mengatasi, malah.
Jadi kenaikan permintaannya, the increase of the demand, that use of that resource is more than of the activity of that policy, ma'am, like that. Yes, like maybe we call it a course resort, kayak resort course, resource course, seperti kayak kurs kayak dosa-dosa ini ya,
In my perspective, we may encounter such situation. Henceforth, we come up with of course, people are moving towards sustainability. Yeah, everyone wants to achieve that, and everyone wants to go green, wants to reduce pollution and everything. And there is new policies. That is why it is important for us to come up with a new movement. Okay, selari dengan new policies, selari dengan peningkatan sumber daya or the resources, we have to ensure that the resources being consumed is aligned with one of the SDG, I think 12 that I mentioned before, in which we ensure that it is not in linear direction, but it is in circular loops, in a sense that whatever waste that comes from that particular consumption or consumption is utilized as much as we can. For example, in terms of the waste, it can be reused, repurposed, regenerate into much higher value added purpose, so that lesser can be discard ataupun dispose to the environmental, so lesser environmental issues as a result to that. It is very difficult to regulate, of course, but then if there is an abundance of resources, why not we circulate it in a way that it can be responsibly consumed by the people. Itu.
Thank you.
Saya tambah
Yes.
sedikit. Sebab soalan ditujukan kepada saya. Alright, sampai saya minta pujian ni sebenarnya expertise dia ni. To me, to answer your question just now, the rebound effect. Rebound effect tu dia meaning that the government are trying to promote sustainable practices, but at the same time, all of that efforts actually consume energy and also resources. So for me, the policy itself must be very strong, and the government as the regulatory body must play their role. I mean, the government must practice it first. For example, a very simple practice, we recycle things. Instead of having this one, we use a glass maybe, for example. So the practice, I think, would to come from the policymaker provider, because they are the one that propose the idea. So the initiative, the practice must come from them first before we actually can create the awareness to the public, right? I think that is policy makers must not only walk the talk but practice.
Thank you for Mr. for answer. This is very insightful for me. Thank you.
Yes, maybe we can start from ourselves, Prof. How to educate ourselves to use all of the reusable or recycled product or renewable energy. Just maybe the example that this one I have discussed with Dr. Ashraf. We have the standard of Green Campus, Ma'am Azima. We have the standard of Green Campus standard, but when we implemented it, not all of the use in our activity reflected of the sustainability, like this one, or the other one. Ya, Pak Herman. Pak Herman, maybe the next seminar we use all of the recycled product on energy. Give applause for our professor. Okay, thank you for your question. Okay, the next from the center. Yes, right? Yeah, yes, you. Ya, Mbaknya dulu ya. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Yulia, as a moderator, and Prof. Nurzaima and Prof. Ashraf. And first of all, I introduce myself. My name is Veronica Sitriananda from Development Economic 2024. And my question is talk about Professor Nurzaima topic. And the question, now it's very common to change the use of plastic to paper, like plastic cup to paper cup, or plastic bag to paper bag. And is that a good solution? And better than use plastic, or even has the same impact as using plastic? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. For me, every consumption there is a cost and benefit. For example, when you said from a replacement of using plastics into paper, wouldn't it be the same, less or more? I would say that it depends on the origin of the paper itself. Okay, Okay, there are different types of paper, and then most importantly, if the paper itself comes from recyclable ataupun reuse or repurpose, then I think that would pose lesser negative consequences to the environment. Because one of the examples just now from the palm oil waste to combat deforestation, because we know that it comes from where the paper comes from, right? So one of the method to combat deforestation itself, to produce some output, is by using the waste from the palm industry. So it can be used to produce such materials such as paper. If the paper itself is recycled, then I think it would pose less impact to the environment. Instead of the, what do we call, output pertama, the first-hand output of paper. If it is recyclable, then it would pose less environmental impact in comparison of using the plastics. Because plastik kan ada plastik yang, paper kan ada paper yang kita belum kitar semula kan, but we know that can be recyclable, and it is easier to recycle in comparison with plastic. Because plastic lagi, it can be recycled, but it is very difficult to recycle it, and you have to separate it, and you have to use some sort of technology to break it and to reproduce it. Beda dengan paper, the technology to reproduce it is less problematic than reproducing the plastics. So for me, if that is fully utilized and recycled and repurposed, then it would pose lesser harm than using the plastics.
Yes, maybe you can implement it, but your question, you can implement it to your activity with your community to engage of the circular economy. Ma'am Zaima, maybe you can start it to recycle all of the product in our environment, in your activity, in your himpunan mahasiswa or the others. Start small. Maybe you can join or to start it with your community to engage of the circular economy. Yeah, I thank you. The other question? No? Okay, I think it's enough. Okay, the next question.
Thanks for the opportunity given to me this time to asking. So my name is Perlin Suragi, and I'm from Economic Development 2024. So actually my question is for Professor Nur Zaima. Thanks. Firstly, I want to say thanks for the knowledge that you have shared for us today. It is talk about how to reduce stress and become that trust in being income in Malaysia, specifically in Sarawak, reduce sago to be something more valuable, and then so we can sell it. So I want to ask you, I'd like to know is there any programs in your university that how to reduce trust to become something that really have high value and we can sell it. That's it.
Thank you for your question. Yeah, according to UN SDG, the goals does not stand alone. So if we look at UN SDG 17, meaning to say it has to partner with different stakeholders. Meaning to say we have to engage with masyarakat, community, the NGOs, the policymakers, the companies, and the society, us. So when it comes to university activities, one of the circular economy that I witness is, although we haven't implement the monetization of it yet, but so far it's only engagement with youth. Meaning to say, one of the program is to produce compost based on the waste. Itu one of the activity yang saya lihat dibuat di kalangan para student that is being committed by the docent and also the student. So they collect all this waste and they have and they ensure that this will be converted into compost that will be used for gardening for the local communities. But so far it is not being monetized yet. So some other efforts that I might say based on circular economy tapi belum dimonetize, not yet monetized, are from other faculties. So one of it is by converting tahi ayam, chicken poop, chicken waste, yeah, chicken waste into energy, to produce electric energy. That is by one of the professor in Universitas. They convert the animal feces, tahi ayam, into energy. But although sudah mendapatkan intellectual property right, but the product is not commercialized and is not monetized yet. Tapi the product is there. So that is why it is important to collaborate with stakeholders. Because if we stop at innovation, then it is a loss when the product cannot be commercialized or monetized and be beneficial for the society. Okay, itu sajalah so far. This is answer.
Besok langsung bisa diimplementasikan itu, mengolah daur ulang itu biar bisa monetize gitu. Termasuk kalau tahi ayam itu banyak ini ada. Yes, right, to the fertilizer. Yeah. Yes, right. Maybe we can build off the business unit for the recycled product, Pak Herman, especially for the development economics program, so we can monetize it, all of the activity. Okay, the last question. Maybe you can address the question for the Dr. Farida. The last question. The last. Yes. Sure, yeah. Mas Dr. Farida bisa dimunculkan. Dr. Farida, I have one question for you. Dr. Farida, please, yes.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, Dr. Farida, I have one question for you regarding to the characteristic of the renewable energy is decentralized, not centralized, but decentralized. And the main of the characteristic is the hike of cost at that energy. How your perspective to provide, to engage, or to mobilize of each of the local government or the other institution to improve the use to productive, to optimize of the product renewable, because there is a hike of consumption in a high cost investment in product recycled product. How your perspective? Government should build in the policy to improve of the use of the renewable energy, because the characteristic is a very high cost investment.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I got it. I agree with green economy and so on. It's need high cost. So komitmen kita bersama artinya begini. This is the central agenda. This is the central government agenda. So we can break down into district maybe. For example, contoh yang real yang kita jumpai ketika kita konsumsi, lalu kita dikenakan biaya ya ketika kita menggunakan plastik ya itu di setiap daerah itu. Ketika kita menggunakan plastik ya itu di setiap daerah itu, saya pikir semuanya sudah kita jumpai, baik itu in retail or grosir ya, semuanya sudah memiliki kebijakan bahwa ada extra cost, ada tambahan biaya ketika kita menggunakan kantong plastik begitu. Sehingga disarankan di situ bahwa semua konsumsi, semua belanja harus menggunakan tas yang ramah lingkungan seperti itu. Saya pikir itu salah satu kebijakan karena it relate with habit. Habituasi itu sesuatu yang penting begitu. Jadi ini masalah kebiasaan sehingga so the local government can issue policy or maybe what we call perda avoiding the use of tas belanja plastik misalnya, something like that. I think this is my perspective, Dr. India.
Is still the term? There is? Yeah. Okay. Okay, because the time is over, so yes. Yes, Dr. Farida. Is it enough? Or I close the end of the seminar. I have 3 points or the 3 keywords from the discussion from our speakers. The first one is our changes to ensure that to promote our inclusive growth for sustainable future is awareness and engagement. How we can start from ourselves, is it right, Dr. Asram? And educated is most important than the other factor. I think that the government have a good policy to promote of the sustainability, and all of the country I think have the commitment to promote of the renewable energy. I think it's a good in the policy. But how about the implemented? So we can start with ourselves. And then the second word is monetization. Jadi kita bisa menghasilkan uang. We can create of the unit business unit of the monetization from the circular economy concept. And the third one, Pak Herman, maybe for the next agenda from our activity today, our seminar today is we can build like association, Pak Herman, maybe community between Indonesia and Malaysia. We can collaborate in education, in research collaboration, or maybe we regularly meeting talking about the especially of the renewable energy and sustainability development. I think that's the next agenda. Thank you very much. Our speakers today, Dr. Nur Zaimah Ubaidillah, Dr. Muhammad Asram bin Abdullah, and Dr. Farida Rahmawati. Thank you for your insightful perspective. Thank you for your time. And welcome again to the Indonesia. And I think Dr. Nur Azimah, you should go hike to the Ijen Mon, Pak Herman. Nanti malam diajak hiking aja di Ijen because that's very beautiful. Because one of my product from my curriculum is Ijen Geopark tourism marketing. So I very much for your attention and before we close this seminar, please Pak Herman give applause. Give applause for the audience for our speakers. And then Pak Herman, then you can give on of the certificate award. Yes. Certificate for our speakers or no?
We will give certificate at the takeover of.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. I'm Yulia Indrawati. Close for this seminar. Thank you and join the next seminar agenda. Goodbye and have a great day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang.
Thank you so much for our speakers and moderators. Such a grateful insights. Next, we will move on to certificate and souvenir submissions. The first certificate and souvenir is going to be given to Associate Professor Nurzaimah binti Ubaidillah, PhD. Also, we invite Dr. Herman Cahyodianto, SEMP, to give the certificate and souvenir to Associate Professor Nurzaimah binti Ubaidillah, PhD, as our speaker today. Please give applause to Associate Professor Nurzaimah binti Ubaidillah, PhD. Thank you, Professor Nurzaimah, as our speaker today.
The next certificate is going to be given to Associate Professor Muhammad Asraf bin Abdullah, PhD, for Dr. Herman Cahyodianto, SEMP, to give a souvenir and certificate for Professor Muhammad Asraf bin Abdullah, PhD, our speaker this morning. Please give applause to Associate Professor Muhammad Asraf bin Abdullah, PhD.
One more. Banyak. Terima kasih.
Satu, dua. Thank you so much to Professor Muhammad Asraf bin Abdullah, PhD, as our speaker today.
Satu, dua, tiga.
The next certificate is going to be given to Dr. Farida Mawati, STME, based on club meetings. For the committee, time is yours.
Online. Satu kali lagi, 1, 2, 3.
The certificate is going to be delivered to Dr. Widya Indrawati, SEMSI, as our moderator today. So next, there is a souvenir from Unimas to Universitas Jember. Please, the committee, to take the pictures together.
And the next certificate is going to be given to Dr. Faida Rahmawati, SEME, by Zoom Cloud meetings. For the committees, time is yours. Please give applause to Dr. Farida Rahmawati, SEME.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much, Dr. Farida. Next, we will move to invite all speakers and moderators and Dr. Herman Cahyodianto to take pictures together with all the speakers and moderators. Also, Dr. Halim to take pictures together. To Ms. Halim, the speakers and first, yes, the speakers and moderator and Dr. Halim first. I'll count down to take pictures. 3, 2, 1, cheers. One more time. 3, 2, 1. One more time.
Kurang mundur kayaknya. Yang mutu kurang mundur kayaknya. Tangannya agak kelihatan.
Okay, so everyone, attention please. So if Mr. Herman say PSAP, we just like bringing green economic better. Okay, you got it? Okay, thank you so much.
1, 2, 3, PSAP.
Thank you so much to all the speakers and moderator and Dr. Halim. Can we turn to the seats?
One more we can take photos. Yeah, also. So you can. Okay. Can saya lihat? Can in the middle?
So we take the pictures with participants. Please to all participants, please stand up and give your best smile. Please stand up, everyone. Please stand up, yes, to take the pictures together with the speakers here. Everyone, please give your best smile.
Satu lagi ya. PSAP.
Maybe one more time.
Satu lagi. 1, 2, 3. PSAP.
One more time. Maybe one more time. 3, 2, 1, cheers. Alright. Thank you, everyone.
Guys, please sit down again. It's not the end.
Please, everyone, can you return to your seats? Please return to your seats.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give applause to all speakers and moderators. To get international certificates, all participants are required to fill in the presence list on the front screen by scanning the barcode first.
All participants are requested to fill the presents that already shared in the group of participants and share on the screen. Please to everyone to fill the presents that already shared on the group participants.
Time to fill the presents is 5 minutes.
Reminder to all participants, don't forget to bring your chest out. The air certificates will be obtained by participants if they participate in this event for 2 days. Participants will get the air certificate if they participate in this event for 2 days. Peserta akan mendapatkan e-sertifikat apabila peserta mengikuti kegiatan ini dalam 2 hari.
Time to fill the returnees ups.
Please return to their seat.
I'm Alvan Besnadber and my partners.
Eva Molina.
As the master of ceremony, would like to say thank you and sorry if we did something wrong. And see you next time. Development Economic Study Program, bringing green economics banners. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Universitas Jember. Untuk perekonomian dan bisnis dunia, jayalah selamanya.